Have you ever looked at your goals and thought, here we go again, another goal, another promise that I probably won't keep? Why can't I ever follow through? Maybe the goals you set out in January are still untouched. Maybe lifed and life just doesn't look anything like you thought it was going to look. Now, part of you is saying, I'll just start over next year. But can I tell you something I actually realized? I don't think you're waiting for January to start over again. I think you're waiting for permission, and you probably don't even realize you're doing it. Somewhere along the way, we started to believe that the calendar had the power to change us, that somehow just because January 1st came, we could finally become the person we desire to be. That January could somehow make us more motivated, make us more disciplined, make us more consistent, make us more focused on achieving the life that we truly desire to have, to become her. But I don't think January changes people. I think January gives people permission. Permission to try again, permission to start over, permission to dream, permission to set goals, permission to finally take themselves seriously. And it makes sense because in January, everyone's starting with you. Everyone's buying planners, everyone's buying calendars, everyone's feed is flooded with new year, new me content. Everyone is talking about goals, habits, and becoming a new person. So beginning feels safe because you don't have to completely trust your own decision yet, because everyone is telling you that this is the time. Everyone's telling you to start now. Everyone's telling you you're going to change this time. But eventually, January ends, the excitement dies down, the feed is no longer filled with new year content, and everyone goes back to their lives. But you're left with a decision that only you can keep making. I know this because I spent years doing the exact same thing. I got pregnant at 19 years old, and I thought that my life was never going to be the same. I thought that I would never be able to achieve the goals that I desired to achieve, that I would never be able to have the time or the consistency or the desire to fulfill my goals, to become the woman I've known that I've always been created to be. I had dreams, I had potential, I had hopes. I could clearly picture the life that I wanted, but I didn't know how to bridge the gap between who I was and the woman that I wanted to become. So every January, I bought another planner. Every January, I created another vision board. I created another Pinterest board. I made the schedule. I did the thing. Maybe I needed a better routine, a prettier planner, a clearer vision board. And none of those things are bad. But I kept hoping the new system would make a decision for me that I hadn't made myself. I thought the planner would make me consistent. I thought the routine would make me disciplined. I thought January would make me ready. But a system can support a decision for you, but it can't make a decision for you. And the problem isn't January. January can be a beautiful time to reflect, to try again, to start over, to see things new and differently. The problem is spending the rest of the year convincing yourself that your real life starts next year. When you feel more confident, when you have more money, when you have more time, when your circumstances finally change, when someone believes in you, when everyone else starts to. Every time you tell yourself, I'll start later, you keep placing the woman you want to become somewhere in the future. And then you wonder why you don't feel like her today. I actually have the language for this now, and I call it the identity gap. It's when you can clearly see the woman you want to become, but you're still living like the woman from your past. So even though part of you knows it's time to move forward, another part keeps waiting for something outside of you to say, okay, now is the right time. Now you're ready. Now you're allowed. But no one is coming to give you permission because this was never a decision that anyone else could make for you. Not the calendar, not the planner, not your circumstances, not someone else's approval. Maybe the woman you've been waiting to become is waiting for you to decide. So let me ask you something. What decision have you been postponing because you're waiting for January or Monday or more confidence or a more convenient season of your life to tell you it's time? You don't need to change your entire life today. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to wake up tomorrow feeling like a completely different person. You just need to make your next best decision. Maybe that decision is submitting the application, posting the video, going to the gym, taking that walk, or finally believing that you can create something new, that you can become someone new. or returning to the promise you broke yesterday instead of using one bad day as proof that you always quit. Your next chapter does not have to begin with fireworks. It can begin quietly, with one choice no one else sees. One moment when the old version of you says, wait until later, and you decide not to. And that's why your next decision matters, because the next step creates evidence. The application becomes evidence that you're willing to try. The video creates evidence that you're willing to be seen. The boundary becomes evidence that you're finally starting to honor yourself. The promise you keep becomes evidence that you can trust your own word. And repeated evidence slowly reshapes how you see yourself. You don't need to feel like her before you begin. You just need to begin. And your decisions give you evidence that you're already becoming her. Your dream life does not begin when the calendar changes. It begins the moment you stop waiting for permission and start practicing small decisions, close big gaps. And if you've been trying new planners, routines, and systems but still don't understand what is actually keeping you stuck, take my free 2-minute Dream Girl Gap Quiz linked below. It will help you uncover the gap that is standing in your way of becoming the dream girl, your dream self that you desire to become before 2027. And subscribe, because every week we're going to have honest conversations about what is really happening underneath the life that you want and what it looks like to begin becoming her again. See you next time.